Well, hey y'all, happy Monday. I wanted to hop on really quickly and share a quick video. I'm actually at the back of my parents' property this evening. In case you didn't know, the Baylor Bears are playing for the national title this evening, and we here in Waco, Texas are super excited. So it's a little bit loud up there, a lot going on, and I thought before the game starts, I'm gonna sneak away and record this quick video. So what are we talking about? Well, this week is GT Awareness Week, Gifted and Talented Awareness Week, and this topic is kind of near and dear to my heart for several reasons. First of all, I am a mom of gifted learners. Also, a lot of the work that I do within A Meaningful Mess and at ESC Region 12 revolves around serving gifted learners and how we as educators can do that well. So, being GT Awareness Week, I thought, gosh, what could this look like? What could I share? And I thought, you know what? I think every day I'm just going to share a quick myth that is out there about gifted learners, something that oftentimes parents, educators, administrators, we fall into believing. Sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's not intentional. And I'm going to be honest, some of these myths that I'm going to talk about this week were actually things that I believed to be true before I was given the opportunity to work exclusively with gifted learners. And then I began to realize, oh my gosh, you know what? That's actually not the case. That's not the reality. So tonight's myth number one, is gifted learners shouldn't struggle, right? Everything should come easy for them. They should be compliant. They should play the school game well. That is definitely a myth, not the reality. And so I want to share a quick story with you guys so we can talk about this. I always love to share a story, and I always love to kind of think about an analogy, and this fits so well with this idea. So I'm going to share this and then we'll talk about it. I heard somebody tell this story one time. I'll try to put the actual source in the comments below, but there was a little boy who was walking home one day and he found a caterpillar, and he was so excited because he knew that if he could keep this caterpillar long enough, it would turn into a butterfly, right? And so he was so excited to see the transformation from a caterpillar to a butterfly. And I think that really kind of connects with us as educators. Oftentimes that's what we want to see from our learners, is they come into class and they seem like these little caterpillars, and we want to nurture them and give them all they need so that when they move on, they're these beautiful butterflies who can go and do these amazing things. And so he finds this caterpillar, he's super excited, and he gets it home and he puts it in a jar, and he's doing all the things, right? He's nurturing it, he's making sure it has leaves to eat and all of the things that it needs to have. He's done all of the research. And as he begins to watch, the days go by and he's getting excited, and all of a sudden the day comes for the caterpillar to build its cocoon. And he wakes up that morning and realizes there's a cocoon, and he's so stoked, super excited, and he goes and he gets his iPhone ready. I'm sure he's going to do some time-lapse videos, and he begins to watch, and he's watching and he's watching and he's waiting and he's waiting, and he realizes, oh my gosh, the butterfly is actually struggling. It can't get out of the cocoon. And he goes into panic mode because he's thinking, you're a butterfly, right? Like, do your thing. I mean, this is what you do. And he keeps watching, and it keeps struggling and keeps struggling. And he runs to his mom and he says, Mom, I don't know what to do. I can't. And she gives him advice. Somehow maybe she gives him a pair of scissors, and she says, hey, be real careful and you can cut the butterfly out of the cocoon. And so he really carefully cuts the butterfly out of the cocoon, helps him kind of escape. Well, when he does that, the butterfly falls to the bottom of the jar and is unable to fly. And I'm sure you've connected the dots here to know that it is through the struggle that a butterfly strengthens its wings and is able to fly. Without that opportunity to struggle, it doesn't have the strength that it needs to be able to fly outside of the jar. So I think that relates so well to really any of our learners experiencing struggle, right? We have to understand as educators that it is through the struggle that they strengthen their wings, and they'll be able to do things beyond the walls of our classroom that we know that they need to be able to do. But if we look at this from the perspective of gifted learners, I think that's what we do sometimes when they struggle, right? Just like he looked at the butterfly and said, you're a butterfly, do your thing. I think we look at gifted learners and we say, you're gifted. School is your thing. Like, just make it happen, right? You're supposed to be compliant. You're supposed to make straight A's. You're supposed to do this well. Sometimes that's just not the case, right? We have gifted learners who may never do well on a worksheet, but they may learn through application. We have gifted learners who may never make an A on anything, but they are gifted in so many other areas. I just think it's so important that we recognize that struggle is valuable and failure is sometimes valuable. I used to think all the time, and I used to tell parents this, that failure and struggle, those things are hard, and it's hard to watch. I know, I'm a mom, and it is heartbreaking to watch my kids struggle and fail, and I don't like it one bit, and I still sometimes want to come in and save the day. But the reality is that it is through the struggle that they are being prepared for what lies beyond the walls of the classroom. And we want them to be able to spread their wings and fly. So I just want to encourage you. There's a couple of ways I think we can go about this. I think honesty, open and honest conversations, designing experiences where we know our gifted learners will be challenged and they'll be given that opportunity to go deeper and experience that struggle. Thinking about and helping your students understand that failure and struggle, it's not a dead end. It's just a detour. And talking about how sometimes on a detour, it's just a different way to get to where you're trying to go. And sometimes on a detour, you see really cool things that you wouldn't have seen on your original route. So I think honest conversation, putting your students in that position, intentionally giving them opportunities to struggle and process that struggle and talk about what does it feel like and how do you overcome that is important. So tonight's myth, gifted learners shouldn't struggle. Absolutely not the case. Sometimes they will struggle. That does not mean that you as an educator are not doing your job. That does not mean that you have to come in and rescue them. It means that you are actually putting them in a position to use skills that they will be required to use, that they will have to use beyond the walls of your classroom. And you are doing them a favor by doing so. So thinking through that, maybe just ask yourself, hey, what can I do this week to kind of give my kids an opportunity to experience productive struggle, right? Not frustration, not anger, but productive struggle. And how can I help them kind of process and get through that? So thank you so much for watching this video. Remember, gifted learners should struggle, can struggle. It's all part of the learning experience and what has to happen in order for them to kind of spread their wings and fly beyond the walls of the classroom. So I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna get up here and watch the game. I hope you guys have a great evening. I'll be back tomorrow with another myth. I guess that's it. I'll talk to you guys soon. Sic 'em Bears. Bye, y'all.